What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video on this Saturday morning. Good news, Jets rookies report to training camp today. We have made it out the other side. Training camp is officially here, and for the next, however many months it is, it's a long time. Football is back. So what I wanted to do was go through and talk about, I guess, kind of like my expectations and my thoughts on each player's role who is a rookie going into training camp, and kind of like what I would like to see from them in training camp and heading into the year. So we'll go in order. Start with the first rounder, Mamu. He's the projected starting right tackle, and really just my hope and expectation for him during training camp is just prove that you can handle your own, right? Like, prove that you belong and that you deserve to start. I think, he's someone who, in my opinion, has a really high floor. I think at a minimum, he's going to be able to be a plus starter as a run blocker right away. The pass protection might need to take a little bit to get up to, I guess, where you'd like it to be long term. And, not every tackle prospect makes the jump and is like awesome right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit. But what I want to see from Mamu this summer is really just, again, like, prove that you belong. He's a projected right tackle. We have to acknowledge that there's going to be some bumps in the road. It's not going to be perfect. It almost never is for a rookie tackle. But again, just more often than not, show that you belong and build some chemistry with the rest of the offensive line. Then you have Mason Taylor, second rounder, just signed yesterday, projected tight end 1, same as Mamu. Prove that you deserve to start. The tight end room, he is by far the most talented guy there. And again, the projected starter of the unit. Prove it. Like, that's really what it's up to for Mason Taylor. He has every opportunity to win the job. I thought he looked good in minicamp and OTAs. So just hope that, his game continues to translate during training camp and into the preseason games and carve out a nice little role for himself, right? Like, looking at the Jets this year, he's probably going to have to be third or fourth in receiving for this team this year. I'd imagine Garrett 1. I'd put Brees 2, and then I would put Mason Taylor 3. But Josh Reynolds is probably going to push that. Like, those two are likely going to be pretty close. So big role for Mason Taylor as a rookie. Earn it. Prove that you deserve it too. For AZ Thomas, third rounder, make the Jets cornerback 2 decision hard. That's what I want to see from AZ Thomas. Look, I'd be really surprised if Stevens isn't the starter at the year, for cornerback 2. But push the envelope, man. Make them make that tough decision on what to do with Brandon Stevens. And, again, it was only, it was mini camp and OTA. So I'm not saying that you're making any, final declarative statements from those. But during OTAs and minicamp, the stories that were coming out that was Stevens was struggling and AZ Thomas looked good. So I'm hoping that continues into training camp and throughout the summer, right? Not that the Brandon Stevens doesn't look good. I want, the Jets paid him a good chunk of money. I would like him to be a good player for the Jets, but a third round pick coming in and making this kind of impact right away and making it a hard decision for the Jets coaching staff, that's a good sign. Arian Smith, consistency, man. We know he's incredibly fast. We know he has potential to be a really good deep threat. How does he do when the game gets more physical? Before the injury and before he had to go on the bike during, mini camp, in OTAs, there were spots where he looked good. And not to be a Debbie Downer, but a big reason for that is the OTAs isn't physical. They're not wearing any pads. He's a smaller speedster. He's supposed to look good during that time. And I'm happy that he looked good. It would be concerning if he didn't look good. But now the next step in his progression is find it when the pads come on. If he's continuing to make plays deep down the field during training camp and throughout the preseason, he's going to have a nice role on this team. And that'd be great to find, a wide receiver in the 4th round in year 1 who gives you a little bit of something, right? And I'm not saying Arian Smith has to be a number 1 wide receiver, even a number 2 wide receiver for this pick to work out. He's got to have a role on the team. Can he be wide receiver 4? I think there's a path to that. And again, with his speed, he has this deep threat element that not a lot of guys have. Plus, he's a punt returner. So can he give you some value on special teams as well? Is he earning that punt returner job? Is he taking it away from Xavier Gipson? All things I'm watching for this summer. For Malachi Moore, pushed to start at strong safety. Look, I get it. Fourth round pick. Are we really going? That guy's got to be a starter. But outside of Andre Sisco at safety room is wide open, man. He's a bit of an older prospect, Malachi Moore, but he started a ton of games on a really good Alabama defense for years. Can you start in year one? If I'm projecting any of the day 3 guys to ever, to turn into a starter, Malachi Moore, I think, is likely the best guess at that, just because he has so much starting experience. He's a little bit on the older side. I don't know if he has a crazy high ceiling, but again, who's going to be the starting strong safety? Tony Adams? I think there's a path for Malachi Moore coming in here and being able to do a job. And let's see it this summer, man. Another guy who I thought had a strong minicamp in OTAs. Let's see it translate. Francisco Mauangoa. Find a depth role for yourself, right? Prove that you belong at this level. Play some special teams with Chris Spanjo. Something. Look, the Jets linebackers outside the top 2, there's a little bit of a concern. Can he win the linebacker 3 job? Can he have a special teams role? Is he a rotational guy? All those would be considered a win for me as a 5th round pick in year 1. Tyler Barron. I've said it from the time he's been drafted. Can you be the Michael Clemens replacement? A rotational run-stopping edge. There's value in that. Is it as sexy as, a guy who's going to give you 12 sacks off the edge? No, but you need those edge setters, do the dirty work, all that stuff. And the Jets right now at edge 3 is really up in the air. Is it going to be Rashad Weaver? Is it going to be Michael Clemens? Is it going to be Tyler Barron? Who's taking that job? So that's what you got to look for him this summer. Where is he in the rotation? For some UDFAs, I got 3 that I'm going to talk about. Jamal Pritchett, I think, has a chance as a special teamer, as a returner. They seem to really like him a lot. I don't know if he's going to have enough juice to make the team as just strictly a wide receiver, but if he ends up having a nice role as either a kick returner or punt returner, I think that's his best chance to making the roster, and that was a name that was talked about a lot during OTAs and minicamp. Brady Cook, the quarterback, we'll see him a ton in the preseason. I don't think he has much of a shot at making the roster. It's going to be, I'd imagine they carry 2 with Tyrod Taylor as the main backup to Justin Fields. And then the last one, Caden Davis, the kicker. He's in a clear kicking competition. Is he going to win this job, or is it going to be the thicker kicker? Who's winning the kicking job? Those are my UDFAs to watch, and that's my expectations for these youngsters in training camp. Let me know your thoughts. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.